The bio was really nice. Eco science. I'm hoping to check what you do. I'm not into climate though, but I think I have friends that can suggest to come to your page. However, my name is Gloria. I am a menstrual health and hygiene advocate. I also work in a foundation where we impact teenagers on personal growth and career development. Aside that, I am a baker. I bake goods. So yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice to meet you. Um, One day I get the opportunity to meet you in person. What about Elijah? What about Emmanuel?
All right. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm happy and I love that you work on climate change. I'm an SDG advocate who focuses on basically SDG 3, good health and well-being, quality education, climate change, and partnership for the goal. And I'm a humanitarian aid worker. I work with the International Committee of Red Cross and Red Crescent. Red Crescent, that's Red Cross as a whole. So I work both with the Nigerian Red Cross, and I work in this department that we restore family links, we reunify, and we provide protection for children and people that got missing. And recently, in my department, I was given the position to work closely with the um, Anam opposition group in Borno State. So I basically based in Borno State. So I can say confidentially to the group in a way that I work closely with the Boko Haram to reunify their families, to provide protection, both legal, health care, and to know how they are doing, to bring humanitarian assistance to them, providing the NHFI, that's non-food item and food items, so that they can be gradually reintegrated back to the community. And we also provide um, psychosocial support to them. Thank you so much. That's much. That's a lot.
I love it. Such beautiful uh, introduction. Please give me 1 minute. My dog is playing with something and it's making a lot of noise. Just want to that. All right. Thank you so much. It was such a loud noise. I needed to put it in check. Hi, Coco. Meet everyone. Meet Elijah. Meet Joseph. Meet Gloria. All right. Bye bye. Okay. Um. So we can delve into the session proper. This session is about strategic planning and management. And I know that oftentimes this concept can sound a little bit complex, and that's because it intersects and it forms the foundation of how successful your organization would be. And so people find it, oh, yeah, like we have to think about it very well. It has to be perfect, this other stuff. But we're going to learn a lot. We're going to learn a lot today. And if at any point you need me to go back or you need clarification on anything, please feel free to unmute and call my attention to that. So, what does strategic planning means? It means we're trying to, it's just from the word strategy and plan. It's about putting your plan in a strategic way, especially when you're trying to work long term. So, strategic planning, it's all about looking ahead and planning and figuring out what important changes or challenges might come up in the future. and how better we're going to address that. And for starting organization, it's more impact oriented, and it's cross-cutting because, for instance, in organizations that are profit focused and they're already existing for maybe 10 years, when they have their strategic planning meeting, their focus might be, how do we attract new customers? This is what we want to get. This is how much money we want to raise. We want to make. This is how much profit we want to make. And for the development organization, it might mean, what kind of impact are we looking to make? And there's a lot of things that goes into strategy planning. And some people say strategy planning is about achieving a goal in the most efficient and effective manner possible. Some organizations will say strategy is about achieving our mission in a better way than other organizations. And this is something that I know profit-oriented organizations do a lot. They are always constantly upgrading and looking for ways to stand out from their other competitors, to stand out in the industry, to be the choice of the people. And for profits, not-for-profit organization that mostly work in development, it might be a way to attract the most funding. So an opportunity for them to stand out mostly in the field. And this is my best definition. Strategic planning is about understanding the challenges, the trends, and the issues, and understanding who are the key beneficiaries, what do we need, and determine the most efficient and effective way possible to achieve that mandate. And if you notice, this definition combines the other two definitions. So a good strategy drives focus, accountability, and impact. I'm going to use impact to replace results, as but we are dealing with mostly people that are working in development sector that are impact-oriented people. Now, the difference between operational planning and strategic planning. Operational planning is more short-term and strategic planning is more long-term. You are looking at your vision. And I would love to say that when you're starting out in the field, it's okay not to have a very brilliant, most working strategy that would work to drive your vision. But at least your operational plan your vision should be the guiding light of your operational plan, so that you can achieve that good strategic plan at the end of the day. But it still matters to have your strategy plan laid out before starting everything, because by then you'll be figuring out, what are we going to need? What are we going to remove? What are resources we need? What is our vision? What is our mission? What is our goals? What is our objective? So your strategic plan shares your vision for the future. At your organization, what are you envisioning? For the next 5 years, what do you guys want to do to achieve your vision? It has your mission, I've said, your vision, your high-level goals for the next years to come. And also take into account how you will measure these goals. Versus operational planning, you necessarily don't have to measure your day-to-day activities, but ultimately it must have an outcome that will lead to your impact. So operational plans can be fundraising campaigns or project delivery and project implementation. Now, there are the role of strategic management. It informs decision making in an organization. It helps you make decisions. And it drives sustainability. It drives long-term sustainability. It ensures that your organization is going to. Now, under the informed decision making, it helps us analyze trend. This is where we assess external opportunities and risks. What are the things that we can? It might be that you want to start an organization that provides technical expertise, data science, programming for female, because the government just let me use a very similar example from my field. Sorry. So maybe the government remove incentive on the importation, remove the tax on the importation of renewable energy electronics, like solar panels and all, and your company sells solar panel, or you want to even create a company that sells solar panel. The moment you are hearing that the government is going to remove tax on on solar importation of solar panel, you're already thinking, yeah, this is a great opportunity for us to tap into. And also the risks involved. This is where you're going to figure out, what if the government change their mind? What if this happens? What if another body comes up and say we have to pay heavily for these things? These are things that you consider because you sat down and say, I'm writing my strategic, I'm creating my strategic plan, and these are the things I would love to consider. At the end of the day, it also helps you set clear goals. This is where you define your objective. You define smart objective. I will come into that. The objective has to align with the organization mission. You cannot be saying that you want to train girls on IT skills, and all of a sudden you are your mission. No, maybe your mission is to educate underserved girls from underserved community on technological skills, and all of a sudden your objective for the month or for the year is to equip girls from vulnerable communities on agricultural skills. Like, how does it even relate? So when you're having your strategic plan, you detail those things, you make sure that they align with one another, and then when it helps you allocate resources wisely. This is very, very important because it helps you allocate resources to where you need it the most, ensuring that your money and your financial technical resources are used appropriately. Another one is helps evaluate outcome, because when you have a strategic plan, you always refine, you always measure, you always try to improve your strategies. It drives sustainability because it helps you consider every socioeconomic factors that are needed in your decision-making sphere. Sorry about that. Another one is encourage innovation, because you find sustainable solutions that are both beneficial to the society and organization. This is my most. It ensures that your organization can grow in a long time because it reduces risks related to resource depletion. And if you tie it to this evaluating a very good strategic plan, you're able to maximize resources and also reduce the use of resources in an efficient way. So it helps you grow on the long term because you can use small resources to get maximum outcome. So why is strategic planning very important for social enterprise? It helps you secure funding. Planning helps you connect to all and relevant partners and attract supporters. When you have a good strategic at least 10 stakeholders that share our mission. You cannot say that you are the only one that wants to drive education in Nigeria. There will be other organizations that are trying to drive quality education in Nigeria. You can identify them as stakeholders. Another one is ensure long-term sustainability of the organization, enhance credibility, because these days when you're applying for opportunities, there are some documents that they ask you for, and you realize that strategic plan is very important. Some organization will ask for your organization risk assessment, they will ask for your mission and objectives, your 5 years. They want to know if the resources they will be providing to you will drive you to your own goals. We help you. They also for different statements, your organization structure. So if you don't have a strategic plan, there's no way. I recently got a comment, and someone was saying, "Oh, it's every time you send to my email, send to my email," and I'm like, why do you have a problem with that? It's because I have put some strategies in place that help me monitor all these things. So you cannot tell me things with your mouth. I might not remember. So I prefer you send me an email and that's even the smallest detail is very important when you have your strategic plan in place. So we're gonna do a very quick exercise, and we're gonna try to assess what our dream is for the or have a dream. Anything that you're doing now that does not drive you closer to that dream does not matter. That is secondary. Drop it and go and do what matters. We will have done a brief exercise on this, but because of time, I want us to move forward. So, what are vision and mission statements? Some people find it complex. I don't know why. This is about, to me, this is about putting what I want to do in English language. I might have the vision of, I want an Africa where Africans passports can visit any country without visa. That is a vision. That's a vision statement. And my mission would now be to strike strategic alliances to ensure that African passports, there is this visa stuff that they have, would be removed maybe over 10, 50 years. That is my mission. So vision and mission are just a way of putting what you want to do in words. Your vision is your overall goal, your vision. What do you think? What do you want to happen when you do this thing? And your mission is how you're going to do those things. So vision and mission statements are essential for providing direction and purpose to organizations, including NGOs and companies. They serve as guiding principles that shape decision-making, strategy, and overall impact. There was some other time I was doing our vision and mission statements at our organization, and I write things down. As it's coming to my head, I write it down. And someone asked me, what is my vision? And I didn't remember. And I went back to that and said, oh, my vision is this and that and this. And so when you get an idea, try to jot it down. Your vision is something that will come to you. It's not something you have to do and be doing mathematics. It's something that will come to you like a breeze. And your mission is something that will lead you to achieve those missions. Sorry, I'm getting this. Oh, hey, sorry about that, Elijah. Moving forward, a vision statement describes the long-term dream or the ideal future an organization strives to create. If you are empowering girls with IT skills, your vision might be to see a world where girls will lead. And your mission our mission is to provide education and training to build the capacity of girls from underserved communities, to improve their leadership skills and their IT for them to be able to strive in the future of work. As simple as that. And vision is what we ultimately achieve, while our mission is how do we want to achieve this. So when you're thinking about vision, you think about the dream of what you want to do. And when you're thinking about mission, you think about how do I want to achieve that dream. So vision inspires and motivates. Sometimes when we vision, when I say I want a vision of an Africa where our innovations can thrive, and people are like, oh, that is really nice. And then mission is how we achieve that vision. Moving forward, I want to do an example. We have 3 examples in total. So you can see that this first example say a world where every child has access to quality education. And your vision has to be very dreamy. You don't want to dream about the future that your government can achieve tomorrow, or you dream about a future where I don't even know. I have a lot of brilliant ideas of vision. I don't know what does not sound visionary. You get, and then mission is how you're going to achieve that thing. We want a world where every girl has access to quality education. So empowerment is a good way to drive that vision. So you empower underprivileged children with free education resources and mentorship. Now, this is from UNICEF. UNICEF has a vision of a realization of a vision of peace and social progress enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations. And their mission is to advocate for the protection of children's rights, to help meet their basic need, and to expand their opportunities to reach their full potential. So next time you want to understand what an organization does, go first to the mission statement, and then you can check the vision statement for their overall, what they're trying to achieve, what their dream is. This is my organization. Our vision is, we envision a truly climate resilient world. We want a world where even if there are disasters, people can survive, can bounce back, can shake it off. That is the vision. And it's dreamy because it is a struggle right now, and we're looking forward to an opportunity of a future that is truly resilient. And now what is our mission? We do this. The way we achieve and drive our vision is to provide actionable solutions through projects and initiatives to the community through empowerment, education, and leadership development. So what does my organization do? we do community empowerment, education, and leadership development in climate space. So I want us to do a quick exercise. I want, this is what I want to do. I want to give you an idea. So in the chat box, write what you think the ideal vision and mission would be. Nothing complex, just a fun exercise for us to get into the or energy, whatever. Okay, so the task is I want to start training women in IT skills, digital literacy, data analysis, and data science to prepare them for the future of works and the changing dynamics of the of the employment sector rather. So, can someone come up with a brilliant vision for this thing that I've said? I would have a vision, and some other. You don't have to come. You don't have to write the two at once. You just have to write one. You can either write the mission or the vision. Just write what do you think the vision is. What do you think the mission is? Just one person, and I'll proceed to save time. What do you think the vision would be? Just write it in the chat box. Guys, I'm waiting before I start calling people. From Liar, Gloria, James, Ifeoma. What do you think the
Good
vision?
evening, ma'am.
Good evening. What do you think the vision would be for what I think I want to do? It's
Speak
okay.
for yourself or
It's a good thing
for
that
me to just
I wrote
answer.
the answer. I had it. It's an exercise. It's a class exercise for us to brainstorm what do we think the vision would be from everything I've been saying about vision and mission. What do we think the vision will be for this task? I want to start training women in IT
Okay,
skills, digital
for me,
literacy.
from what I heard you say, if I'm not mistaken, you said you want your vision is to see every woman occupy prominent position, if I'm not wrong, and then your mission is to ensure that that particular vision statement becomes a reality. That's what I can remember.
Yes, you are on the right track. Except I wanted us to guess, to add our thoughts. This is an exercise. This is like a class exercise, like an assignment. Like, what do you think my vision statement would be? But I have added it to the next slide. So my likely answer would be that if I have this idea in my head that I want to solve a social development problem by training girls on IT skills and digital literacy, data analysis, for to prepare them for the future of works and the changing dynamics of the employment sector. My vision would be a future where women are empowered to lead and thrive in the digital economy and future of work. Then my mission is now, how will I achieve those things? I will achieve it by equipping women with IT skills to enable them to confidently navigate and excel in the job market. Because I believe that if more women can be in the technological space, they will be empowered to thrive in the digital economy. I don't want a future where women are struggling to make ends meet. I don't want a future where women cannot even thrive. I don't want a future where women are being treated as the second class citizen. I want a future where women have a voice, they can lead and they can thrive, they can make money. So that is how you create vision and mission. You create vision as like a dream. A vision has to be something like a dream, and your mission has to be how you're going to achieve that dream. Now, what are the components of strategic planning? So you have like a outline. This is an outline. So you have like a document that is going to detail all these things. And although you should executive summary is the last thing you work on when you're having a strategic plan. Actually, this is something that I do as a whole. I don't know if it's like an industrial practice. Executive summary is always the last thing you write because it's supposed to be the summary of your entire strategic plan. Anyways, you have an executive summary. This is a summary of your organization, the goals, the strategies, the stakeholders, and it's mostly like even half page is enough. or max 1 page. Then your vision and mission statement. This is the statement that defines your purpose. Now, let me give you an example. This is what having a great vision and mission statement does. It gives people an idea of what you're trying to achieve and why they should invest in you. There's sometimes that you will tell a funder your vision statement, and the funder will look up and say, that's really nice. Something they've not even thought about themselves. You are the dreamer, and they will help you achieve your dreams. Someone like Tunde, this chess and slum guy, he has a mission to empower underserved kids with the gift of chess. And when he says that, and investors are like, with the gift of chess, I really want to invest in that. I want to support you. And it's a dream. It's a dream. This is my dream. This is how I'm going to achieve it. You have to have a visionary vision and mission statement. And now, what are the core values? These core values are the fundamental principles that will shape the culture of your NGO. And to ensure that your NGO aligns with ethical and organization standards. So it might be that you want an organization to be empathetic. You want everybody in your organization, both the board, the community, to be empathetic. You want them to be compassionate. You want them to be kind. You want them to strive for excellence. You want them to be adapt different things that you can put under your core value. But your core value has to also be sometimes the belief, mostly the belief of the founder. Like, okay, I am a very empathetic person. Imagine working with non-empathetic people in your organization. You guys will be like this, like your back will turn against each other. When you are there, dreaming, oh, I really want to help these people. This is so sad. And someone is like, which app? Please, 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 me, I'm looking for money. And like in my organization, empathy is one of our core values. At my organization, excellence is our core value. And so everything that we do, we always put one extra behind it to make sure that we're striving for that excellence. And when people see it, they're like, you guys are doing amazing. So at my organization, I don't like work that are not up to standard. When you do something, you don't do it well, say, go ahead and do it well. You can achieve that excellent status. And then another one is situation analysis. This is where you review the factors that could impact the success of your organization, identify opportunities and challenges that can come up, and ways to mitigate them. And now, goals and objectives. Your organization must have goals and objectives. Your goals might be to empower 3,500 children from marginalized communities and equip them in skills in sustainable agriculture for them to become climate leaders or farmers or agricultural leaders in their community. Now, your objective will now be a breakdown of the goals, how you're going to achieve them in different spheres. And now initiatives are different projects that you're going to design at your organization. You don't have to have 50 projects. You just have to have core projects that will drive your mission and vision and your goals and objectives. Now, one of our objectives was to train 10,000 youths in Nigeria to become climate leaders, to become climate science literate too. And now we design projects that will make sure that it's equipping those youths with those education that they need for us to achieve that our objective that we've set. We say we want 10,000 youths. We want to train 10,000 youths. Would they have resources per month to train 100 youths? So how many years will it take us to train 10,000 youths? That's how you calculate. But if you have more resources to train, maybe you partner with top organizations like WHO, World Bank, then it's actually, we can even say that our objective is to train the whole Nigerian youths on sustainable agriculture. So it depends on the kind of resources you have, but your initiative must always drive your goals and objective, and your objective must always drive your vision and mission. Now, stakeholder engagement, this is the strategy you put in place to be able to identifying stakeholders is one of the key skills I think every development person should know, because it's important for you to be able to identify, engage partner. The way you engage partner A might not be the way you engage partner B. So you want to design that strategy in a way that, so this is our partner, this is how we're going to identify our partner. Maybe you're going to go to the internet to search for keywords, organization in Nigeria that are doing health and HIV advocacy, organization in Nigeria that are preventing early marriage. You can search for it, or what strategy, or you do recommendations, or people that are already in the space, ask them different strategies that you can put in place. Now, another one is resource mobilization. How will you get resources for those projects, financial and non-financial. Sometimes as an organization, you need technical assistance. Technical assistance can be in form of experts, can be in form of resources. For me, at my organization, I know we need technical expertise when it comes to like trainers and research resources. We need high-level research resources. So those are non-technical supports, and I have to partner with other organizations to get those resources. Now, what about financial? Especially non-profit. Non-profit organizations are non-profit for a reason. They don't used to have money. They need to always identify ways that they can secure more funding. And now, having monitoring and evaluation plan in place, you have to have a robust, thick monitoring and evaluation plan to measure your progress at every interval. I don't know, but monitoring and evaluation seems to be my favorite part, because that's when I get data. That's when I'm able to refine. That's where I'm able to get insights. Some things you might be thinking that some things are happening. For instance, we did a program at my organization and we had an attrition rate, which means the rate at which people dropped out was about 20%. And I was so concerned, how can 20%, how can we have 20% attrition rate? And me, I was thinking the attrition rate is because were like, maybe people don't like the program, people pick something else, or maybe people don't have data. At the end of our monitoring and evaluation, we realized that the reason for our attrition rate is because most of them got jobs. Most of them, and that was something I didn't even think about. I was like, oh, that one too is there. Well, I didn't know. Most of them got jobs, most of them got scholarships, most of them got postgraduates, most of them got new jobs, and they had to relocate. So I was like, yeah, so we incorporate that insight in our next planning to make provisions for those that will be relocating and getting new jobs. That is why monitoring and evaluation is one of my favorites. You get access to data, like you get access to insights. Another one is implementation timeline. It's also one of my favorites. Like, okay, how many days, weeks, months will it take us to achieve these things? You put key activities. There are some activities that they are not key activities, like printing. Printing is not key activity, except the project is about printing. So activities, okay, engaging stakeholders, talking to partner with of education, talking to the ministry, getting a partnership is the activity. And from when do you want to achieve this is an implementation timeline. Risk management. This is a practice I recently started late last year. I was running a lot of things. So someone asked me, what's your risk management strategy? And I was looking like, what's risks? No Nigerian thing vibe now. Risks, but it's not proper. You have to have it detailed out. When those risks come up or want to come up, how do you mitigate them? How do you address them? There are some risks that are bound to happen. For instance, if you have a project and you have people traveling interstate, what about the risks of kidnapping? Is it not part of it? What about the risks of insecurity and all those issues we have on the road? What about harassment, police harassment? Those are risks. You don't want your project manager to suffer anything. How do you mitigate that? Do you do air flying? Do you make sure that you send police escorts to them? How are you going to? So it's very important to identify risks and how you're going to mitigate them in your strategy plan. Communication and branding is my favorite. How do you want to communicate? What's your tone? This also has a lot to do with branding. What color are you going to stick with? Do you want to change your style? I remember when Surge Africa was changing their logo, and I was like, no, I love the former logo. One of my friends worked at the organization. I was like, what is this? She was like, this is our new logo. No. But really, now, when I look back at that logo, it's really, really, really beautiful, and it really represents them a lot. And now, so how do you communicate to people and share your mission and its progress? Moving forward, how do you conduct situation analysis? Situation analysis are done to help you identify organization strengths, weakness, and opportunities, and strengths and threats, actually. Strengths, what the organization does well. What are we good at? I used to flaunt that our organization is very, very good at advocacy. We're very, very good at high-level discussions, sharing our thoughts, capacity building. What is our weakness? We don't have money. We don't have money, we lack funding, and also we lack a lot of technical resources. I know because I have done my SWOT analysis. You don't do SWOT analysis because, please, we have money in Jesus' name. What is kind of these are data and they are very necessary. It's okay for you not to have money. It's okay for you to lack technological access. Identify these things and ways that you're going to mitigate them. What are our opportunities? How do we secure new partnership? How do we secure new funding? And what are the threats to our work? One of our biggest threats recently was this Trump withdrawing from one of our Paris agreements, one of our topmost agreements in the climate space, and it really affected the landscape. Can see the way he pulled USAID funding, and a lot of organizations pulled out, and some people that had funding they put out. So those are external threats that organizations that are doing their work well will have identified in their strategic plan and ways to mitigate them. In fact, as they remove USAID fund immediately, they reach out to their other um, opportunities, reach out to their other partners, reach out to other people that they will have identified that it's not when the thing happened that you now start running a tascator. And pest analysis is also for external. This is for external. SWOT analysis is for internal and external. To identify internal and external strengths, weakness, and opportunities. Now, pest analysis is mostly external. This is political, government instability. You know, Nigeria makes policies a lot. You can see what happened with MTN data. Just that small thing that MTN did now, our volunteers, most people are saying, oh, data is expensive. Our Zoom session should be less than 40 minutes. I'm like, 40 minutes, what are we going to learn? How do we mitigate that? And economic, also this one is under economic inflation, social, different things that you have to identify before having a strong strategic plan. So in terms of, this is an example of the SWOT analysis. An NGO, I've already given an example. I think we're good to go. So how do we set SMART goals? SMART goals is really important. SMART goals, if you're someone that works as a program designer, you understand that you design a lot of programs. Not every day you will remember. If someone cannot carry your programs, was a proposer, someone that did not design it and be able to follow it into then that did not set, the person did not do a good work. So I think setting SMART goals is really important, because when you set SMART goals, you're able to set SMART objectives, you're able to have good outcomes, good outputs, you're able to have good outcomes, and you're able to set good activities that will achieve those goals. So goals are really important to set good one, SMART one. What's the S? The S is for specific. You have to tell us specifically what you want to do. Don't beat around the bush. Do you want to train women or men, or both of them? I want to train 500 women. Don't say I want to train girls. Add the numbers. I want to train 500 women in data science. Is it measurable? Yes. Include numbers and indicators. Good example is to conduct 20. So you want to train 500 women in data science by conducting 20 tech awareness workshop and reaching over 200 women, which means after you train, as you're training the 500, you have different key activities. Maybe you have another session where you do like an event and you invite 2,000 women to the event so that they can explore the power of data science, you know, something like that. But those 500 women will be those ones that you train directly. So these 2,000 women are indirect numbers. So is it achievable? Don't go and set go and say I want to train 1 million people when you are not. Even World Bank cannot say they want to train 1 million people like that without partnership. They will partner with a lot of organizations. So as a startup NGO or development organization, you are setting, oh, want to reach 1 million. Because by the time you look at the resources you have, you realize that 1 million is a good plan, but it's not achievable. So you have to set achievable goals. And how do you want to do this? You want to partner with 3 organizations to train 500 women in 1 year. Maybe you do 3 months, 3 months, then 4 times, then you do 500 women, which is good. It's achievable. Is it relevant? Yes, it's relevant. You might want to establish a tech hub after the training and say this is where women can come, because there's no light in Nigeria. So you want to put in mind that after the training, they will have a place they want to practice. So when they come to that place, the tech hub will be useful for them to gain access to lights. So you don't want to say after the project, you go and establish sports center so they can work out to do their data science very well. It's not relevant. Another one is it time bound. You want to do this over a year. You saw this one that it would say this is time bound. You've given that person an insight and say, I want to do this in 1 year. So how do you break? Okay. Breaking goals into actionable steps, you make sure that your goals, your objectives, you're able to have a key plan. This is why I mentioned it. I think a roadmap. A roadmap is a document that they do, and then with plenty colors of like Gantt chart on what you're going to do. Break it into actionable steps. If you say you want to do something over one year, what is the first thing you do in the first month? It might be partnership and stakeholder identification. Do it. The second month might be curriculum development and securing expert trainers. Do it, but write it down. Make sure that you write everything down. So why do most organizations struggle with strategy execution? They don't have money. They don't have technical capacity. They don't have poor strategy planning. I know you're a brilliant person, but put it down. Write it. See, there's sometimes that you write and you realize that this my dream is not achievable. It's not cost. It's not just visible. It's not just achievable. It's not just responsive. You are there in a community that needs agricultural intervention, designing HIV program. By the time you ask people and you're designing your strategy plan, you know that this is not going to work. So put everything in writing. So people don't have good strategy plan. Sometimes you have the strategy plan in your head. By the time you are doing the field work, you realize that this your strategy plan cannot work. Also, they have weak organization structure and leadership. This is very hard, especially when organizations are dependent on volunteers, which is totally understandable. But as much as possible, try to put some organizational structure in your organization. For me, if you send me something on WhatsApp in my organization, I will not respond to you. Go and send it via email. There are some things that have to follow protocols and structures. If we want to partner with someone, you said you use mouth to answer them. Why will you use mouth to answer someone? What's the document? Did we sign? There are so many structures that you can put in place in your organization, but you don't have to overwhelm yourself. It's okay. And also, they don't have good monitoring and evaluation. They will design projects. Monitoring and evaluation will be shaky. And monitoring and evaluation expertise can be very hard to come by, but it's really important. Even if it's the basics, or even if you pay for someone to come and train you, it's very okay. And ineffective stakeholder management. So people get partnership today, or they will get funding today. Tomorrow, they do not maintain relationship with the grants funder. They not maintain relationship with the project manager that work with them. They not maintain the relationship. They left them like that. Ineffective stakeholder engagement. Another one is policy issues and bureaucratic challenges. Resistance to change and innovation. There are some non-profit I know in Nigeria that, hey, as the world is moving, they want to stay where they are. They cannot stress themselves. All this tech thing that these you Gen Z people are doing, they are not interested. So they are very resistant to change, and this will also affect them, especially that the dynamics of the world is always moving. You have to always be able to move and navigate those issues. How can they overcome these challenges? Diversifying your funding. For my organization, we sell merch. This is one of our merch to raise funding for our basic activities. So on a norms, my organization is good to go without funding, without external partnership, but still external partnership makes us scale, which is a brilliant thing, and I love it. I love partnership. The amount of support you can get is immense. So definitely key into it. Another one is to develop smart strategic plan with clear execution step. This is what we want to do this month, next month. Then this is what we want to achieve for Q1. By Q2, we want to achieve this. We want to have talked to 50 stakeholders, do this project so that we can raise more, we can do this campaign and raise more money. Have clear executions for all your plan. And now invest in leadership training, just like this organization is doing with you guys. It is very, 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 very with long why it is very important to build the capacity of the leaders that work in your organization. The smarter the people that are in your organization, the more successful you can become. So balance volunteer efforts with paid staff for critical roles. This is very hard for NGOs, especially people that are starting up. What I would say is if you can afford incentives, you can always send incentives, but if you can't, definitely try to work with visionaries, people that have the same vision with you so that you don't have to over-explain. There's no money. Say you don't know that there's no money before this is a non-profit. Where is the money? It's not like they give us the money, we are keeping it. There is just no money. And another one is implement good monitoring and evaluation. I've said that. Build strong partnership. I've said that. Work with legal experts. Before I started my organization, when I was putting things down, I had 3 lawyers, and these people were people I got from other people. I don't have money to pay. I asked them, can you volunteer? The reason I wanted lawyers is I know that Nigeria tried to take advantage of any small thing. And I know that at one point they were taking advantage of NGOs by sending them wire money from abroad and using their accounts to run scam. So anything I want to do, I always vet it by them. Sir, is this one okay? You say, I'll take a look at it and then you get back to me. This is good to go. Or ask me more questions and I'll answer him. It does not matter. You don't have to be big. You don't have to be Chevron or Shell before you get those things in place. You can always talk to people. Use a network to get people. Have those things in place. It's not when something happens, you now start looking for a lawyer. Hey, please recommend good lawyer to me. Huh? And those lawyers, over time, they see my work and they're like, so I'm so proud of you. So if anything happens, they get my back. Invest in technology. It is very important to move with the trend. So there is role of monitoring and evaluation for strategy execution. Monitoring is there when you want to monitor, evaluation, and adapt. I've already talked about how important it is to monitor, and I've shared my experience on why it is very important to have data. Sometimes you think that you know something until you look at chart, you look at graph, and you're like, focus on in my head. I'm like saying, maybe the reason those scholars drop out is because they don't want the program. And no, the data says that they wanted the program, but they got other job and they had to relocate. And our program was not flexible to accommodate that. And then I said, you guys should, programs manager, use that insight to better the program next year. Don't expect that people will stay one place forever. You have to put some things in motion. Like if you get a job, these are the things that you can do to continue in the program. You can always talk to us, different things like that. So it's very important to, and also it's very important to get data. This afternoon, someone called me and said, hey, you're doing a sustainable agricultural project in Nevada. How about expanding it to Delta State? I can be your programs manager there. I said, it's not about expanding to Delta State. I cannot assume that they need my project in your community. But are you willing to get data? After talking about the data she will get, she said, maybe when we get funding, we're going to do that. I said, this is the problem. Data, talking to people. People don't want to do that grand work. They just want to go design project, get funding, and go and no. In fact, getting data boosts your confidence because by the time you're talking out of data. You're not saying emotions. Like people are dying. How many people are dying? How do you know people are dying? Who did you talk to? How do you know? So all these things helps you get data. If you are designing a program at your organization, you want to add a very solid monitoring and evaluation plan, data collection there. You don't even have to analyze it instantly because for me, I'm very lazy with analysis, but I get those data anyhow. Another one is evaluation. You have to be able, even if it's basic data analysis, try to be able to analyze your monitor M&E plan, what you've said. If you say that you want to achieve 20% increase in knowledge for children that you will teach on pregnancy prevention or whatever else, or sorry, maybe you are doing a project on pads, you want to provide pads to girls. How many girls are coming back to the pad bank to pick it every month? How many of them are sending letters of their worries and this? You say you want to achieve 20% of sustainability. Measure it. How do you know you've achieved it? Another was adaptability. This is one of my core skills. I am very adaptable. Be able to adapt. In fact, adaptability in your personal life, you need it. There are so many things that are bound to happen, external factors, challenges. How do you adapt to those things? Now, if your monitoring and evaluation plan shows that many women struggle with online learning due to poor internet connection, someone said she does not have a good internet. Elijah, said he does not have good internet connection now. Then Joseph is already recording this session, which means when he has a good internet connection, he can always view the recordings. These are the things that they put in place to make sure that people are able to adapt to how do you create a long-term roadmap for impact? The first thing, define your vision and then break it into annual goals and quarterly actions. What do you want to achieve in the next 5 years? Do you have an edtech startup? And the next 5 years, you want at least 20% of the private schools in Nigeria to be using your platform. Which is your solution? What are you going to do every year to ensure that 20% of, if after you measure that 20% and you see there's over 300 schools in Nigeria, how do you achieve that per month? That means if you have 5 years to do that, you have at least 70, you have to do 70 schools in a year. And then if you are doing 70 schools in a year, that means you have to do 70 divided by 4. That's how many you do quarterly. So quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. How many are you going to do? Another one is to be able to prioritize. Prioritizing resources for projects is very important. There's some projects that you don't see. You have secondary projects and you have primary projects. I've talked to a lot of founders, non-profit founders, and there's this lady that was struggling with her organization. She had a tree planting initiative, and she was spending money on the tree planting initiative because the whole talk about climate change was inspiring her. Our organization is into public speaking. She's investing in tree planting. I'm like, you see that you are going here, your organization is going here. You're not prioritizing what's important. You can partner with organizations that are into tree planting, but that is not your core project. Your core investment should be in that public speaking. You are not supposed to allow tree, except you want to change your vision and mission, but you're not supposed to allow tree planting to overshadow what your organization stands for. So prioritization help you invest in what matters the most. Adaptability, just like I've said, it helps to adapt to how the landscape is shifting. Someone was saying that a lot of NGOs now are shaking and they don't know where to get money. I told you confidently, I cannot shake in this development space because I not even come here for anybody's money in the first place. Success is a good thing and I don't divide success by money. But then again, I never came here with the plan of relying on external aid, just like Nigeria used to do. As a matter of fact, I preach against it. So imagine removing USAID funding. It affects other sectors, but I'm talking in particularly about those ones that rely on the grants. Why? Anyways, we are done with this session. And I just wanted to reiterate that if you have any question, feel free to drop it in the chat box. Now, this class exercise is something that I would send to Joseph. We're supposed to do it, but I see that we're already on time. I don't know if we can continue. Maybe I should ask to see how you guys are doing first. Okay. All right. So the class exercise is to create an actionable roadmap for your organization or for yourself. Don't assume that this does not apply to our own personal life. There are some things now that most of young people are doing that does not contribute to their success. You don't need it. But sometimes just put in, what is the vision for myself? I have vision for myself. I want to see myself in the presidential landscape in Nigeria and the climate discourse. When they're talking about the climate discourse, they're talking about me. They're mentioning me as a top high-level personnel in that discourse. What is my mission? My mission now is to make sure that I increase the resilience of communities and adapt to build my own capacity so that I can be able to use the impact result of those initiatives that I've led, show the government and say, see what I'm doing, see what you people are doing. You see, I can help you out. That is my own path. So even in your own personal life, you need vision and mission so that you will be able to invest in the right activities. I know some young people that are volunteering in about 5 different organizations. Me, I've only volunteered in one organization all my life. And other part volunteers are like maybe consultation, just adding my thoughts. But same volunteer, like I went to do work for them, it's just one organization. And I learned a lot volunteering for that organization. I learned a lot that shaped me into who I am. And some people are volunteering in like 5, 10 different organizations. They not in 1 year, they will not even learn one single thing. So even in your own personal life, not only organization, you have to have a strategy plan. And strategy plan helps you move fast because as you're looking at your calendar and you're seeing key milestone, achieved or not, and you're clicking not achieved. By the time you click not achieved 2 times, you ask yourself, what am I doing with my life? just a joke. Anyways, you need to figure all these things out, and these are templates that you can follow. You don't have to do complex, but if you're already in the field, definitely shoot for it. Go for the complex one. There are a lot of templates out there that you can use for your strategy plan, and I hope this has been very helpful. So if you have any question, well, I will hand over to Joseph now. But if you have any question, you can always unmute and speak. Joseph, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Jumoke. That's been truly an amazing session. And I know that everyone on the call can attest to that. Yes, so can we appreciate Jumoke? Reactions. Can drop thank you in the comments. Better know that we have learned a lot today. All right. If you have questions, you can raise up your hand. Let me see. There are questions. Questions, questions. I don't know why I'm not seeing if anybody's hand is up.
Maybe they don't have any question, which is totally fine. And I will
Okay.
just assume that they understood everything I've said and they are going to put it into practice. And it's also okay if you don't have any question now. Maybe when you start working on your strategy plan and you have any question, you can always reach out to Joseph or reach out to me. I will be glad to share my thoughts with you.
So Jumoke has done a fantastic job this evening. If you guys don't have questions for her. All right, so Jacinta has just dropped a question in the chat. She says, okay, first off, thank you for coming. What should one do when team members do work together as expected? I believe that's don't work together as expected. So what should one do when team members don't work together as expected?
Hmm. So recently I learned something from my boss. When he started his company, he was also struggling with volunteers and all those things. So just to answer your question, first, if you are when I started my organization, I was always feeling this. I'm doing volunteers. Volunteers are doing me a favor. If they don't do their work well, I won't talk. I'll go and do it myself. So it was like until I experienced the way they look. So I joined an Asia community, one work group, one international work group community. And I'm telling you, these people are volunteers. They work Monday to Sunday. And that was feeling the energy. Like, these people are volunteers that are working like this. In Nigeria, hey, you struggle with volunteers, you struggle with team, even teams that you are paying, we will still struggle with them. So I think firstly it's about working with the right people. When you work with the right people, you're able to even figure out even your own leadership style if it works with them and refine it as you're working with them. Because there are sometimes that your team might be a team of open communication style, freeness, when you're on the call and you're like gisting with them, oh, hi, how you guys doing? And then you go into the property, you're able to find a blend of, playful times with your team and when you go to the real work. And there are some teams that they don't even want playful time. As you're on the call with them, you go straight into the, hey guys, what have you done? This is this. So there are different leadership style. And I think first we have to understand, are you working with the right set of people? And it's okay because people, before you find good people in this life, you do a lot of work. You do a lot of work. So when things are not working together as expected, try to talk with them one by one, like outside traditional space. This is what I do. I call each of them. I try to build that relationship with them, keep that momentum. Just calling. Sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, please, I've not done that work." I'm like, "No, I didn't call you for work. I just called to check up on you." So when you build that relationship with them, most of them tend to open up and tell you what the real big deal is. There was this time I did that, and one girl was complaining that she does not think the girl is competent enough. Then it's reducing her own steez. She's trying to work, and someone is there doing rubbish. So I was able to identify and figure out what was wrong and effect solution in that regard. So you can also build relationship with your team. It depends on the kind of team you have. There are some things that you know that this team cannot just work. So you try to and select and weed out people that cannot work with your mission. And when people are with your mission and they're really good team and it's just dynamics, you try to make it better. For instance, there's something I introduced in my organization recently. When we come on call, I'll first say that we do like a breakout room, two people that I know that they don't like talking to each other. I'll put them in the same breakout room. I'll say that by the time you are returning after 5 minutes, tell me one thing tell me 5 different things that on the call. They're like, I actually learned that we have a pet cat and the pet cat has the same name. I'm like, hey, is that not fantastic? And before you know it, you've even fostered the relationship building among your team members. And by the time they're talking, they're like, I even talked to this guy yesterday. I'll be so amazed. You talk to which guy? Someone. Anyway, sorry about that. I hope you got the last part I said. I had network challenge.
Yes, we got you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Joseph, you have the floor back. Um, I would assume, okay, I would assume Joseph is having some challenges. Joseph! Oh my God. So that all of us can go and rest. But anyways, James that asked the question, it's just a lot of intentional work. And at some point when I realized that it takes this kind of work, I was trying to assess, is this what I even want to be doing with my life? Because what's this rubbish? Me, if I have my own personal issue and I'm there sorting conflict. Oh, you guys should be, you know what, calm down. Let's take it one step at a time. What is your problem? What's your problem? And me, I'm also dealing with my own stuffs. All right, I already have ideas for the organization I work with because volunteer engagement is one of the issues. Volunteer engagement is a big deal. I also struggle with that in my organization, to be frank and fair with you. But there are some things that we are trying to put in place recently. For instance, now we have different community in different states, and we iterated with Ibadan and Kano community, and they have lineup of activity. And now I even see better engagement and better energy. I'm like, so these people can talk. Me, I'll come to the group. I will posting. You guys should learn. You guys should learn. Their community, they will respond on their community page because it's all about fun and vibes. But me, that but it's really good, and that strategy is working well. It's also a good way to test. So God bless you. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I would assume that Joseph is having a challenge joining back, but since we are done, I would want us to. No, I won't say bye bye, but me, I can excuse myself back. I hope it's okay to go. All right. All right. Thank you so much and have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye. Bye.